Hello, you lovely listeners. I'm Amy. Welcome to the Really Good Conversations podcast, where we will delve into the minds of the business people we have met in the process of launching our first card game. We will be uncovering their secrets to success, their biggest mistakes, and sharing the key lessons they have picked up en route. So, if you're looking for an engaging chinwag mixed with business insights and a good pinch of fun, you're in the right place. Let's have a really good conversation. Hello, Gill.
Hello, Amy.
So welcome to the Really Good Conversations podcast.
Fabulous, thank you so much for having me.
So we are here, sat in your beautiful store here in Great Ayton in North Yorkshire. Can you tell me a little bit about your shop, the name, and what it is you guys sell?
So our shop's called Bramble LuLu. Those names were the names of our tiny little son's dwarf lop rabbits.
Oh, wow.
He had Bramble was a lovely brown fluff ball, and Lulu, she was just white, and she just was a Lulu. She just looked lovely. So we actually got them when I was about to have our daughter, and Chris was 4, and I was a bit worried about, he's had us to a long time, there's going to be a new baby. Let's get some bunny rabbits. We've been talking about it for a while. Let's go and get some rabbits. It's a bit of a distraction. And it worked. I mean, he was fabulous with Hannah anyway. He was fabulous. But we had these 2 little bunny rabbits, and yeah, they were much loved.
The name of the shop, goes back
29 years.
Wow, so the name goes back 29 years. But how long has the shop here actually been open for?
We opened in 2020, smack bang in the middle of a worldwide pandemic.
Oh gosh, yes, exactly. And it's been the blip of the last 3 years, hasn't it? Tell us how yourself, you obviously you have the shop with your husband, Grant. How did you decide to come into the world of retail?
A very long journey, to be perfectly honest. It was something we've always wanted to have our own business. Grant and I, we've been married 35 years this year, and it was something that we've looked at on and off, but the time has never really been right. I was a nurse, worked as a nurse for a long time. Grant, as an electrician, trained locally at ICI, and got into the world of scheduled maintenance and planning and that kind of thing. So he picked up more qualifications, lots of skills on the way. And in 2020, it's the second time in our life that we've made a 5-year plan, and it's gone a bit peaked on. So about 2019, we said, right, a 5-year plan, that's 5 years till Grant retires. And at that time, he was working in the Middle East, and I'd stopped nursing, and I was going out and having a month in the Middle East with him and a month here, seeing the children and elderly parents and what have you. So we had a 5-year plan, and that particular year, 2020, we had about 4 holidays and lots of flights booked. The idea was we were in the Middle East, we were near Dubai, big hub airport. We would go to Sri Lanka and, maybe another trip to Australia and do things like that while we were there. And then when we came back to the UK when Grant was 60, we could travel Europe.
Yes.
There's lots of Europe we haven't seen, and also the UK. So
that was the plan.
That was
the plan was to go,
and it went
retirement, travelling sort of world.
So our first trip that year was to Oman. And unfortunately, the poor Sultan passed away overnight as we were flying, and there was lots of people coughing on the aeroplane, and we'd started to see things in the news. So we ended up in this beautiful hotel, being kind of a bit stuck in Oman. We had a great time. We met loads of other people, and they put all of the holiday makers, if you like, they put us all in an executive suite on the top floor of the hotel to keep us all together, and we just kept each other amused. So we played board games. We met a fantastic barrister from London. She was really interested to talk to. We met a pilot.
Wow.
It was really.
And what month was this then?
That was January.
January. Yeah. So yes, just before I guess everything was sort of taking hold. So then, how did you jump from that hotel to going into a store?
Well, so I didn't go back to the Middle East in March as planned, because I said to Grant, I think everything's going to get stopped here.
Yes.
And I don't really want to be stuck in the Middle East because, parents and what have you. So I think I should stay at home. And blow me, on the 23rd of March, which was Grant's birthday, he got the call from his boss to say that they're closing the road from Bahrain into Saudi Arabia, the causeway, can you gather everybody, gather the troops, and we want you all in Saudi so that the office can still work.
Wow.
So that was that. And anyway, Grant was very stuck in Saudi Arabia. I was very stuck here. And he said after a couple of months, I think I want to come home. So we managed to get him a repatriation flight. And he got home and we did our 2 weeks quarantine. And then we had another few really idyllic weeks. Things started to open up a little bit. We could go and see the children, one thing and another. And he said to me, I think I want to retire. And I was like, oh, wow, yay.
But now we can't quite go travelling.
yeah, so that was that. And after a couple of weeks, I said to him, because I had retrained to make curtains and blinds. I've always loved sewing. And that's really something that I wanted to know how to do to make really high-end quality soft furnishing. So I went to York and I did that. And I said to him, we can't just do nothing. My background is a cardiac nurse. And I've seen, unfortunately, far too many people who've been very busy, very active, then retired and just stopped.
Yes.
And sometimes that just very sudden change in lifestyle can result in a heart attack or what have you. To Grant, we've got to keep moving, we've got to keep doing, we've got to keep busy. I've seen a little shop, will you come and have a look at it with me? Then he came and he looked, and I think he was just humouring me. And the more we looked into it, and I'd already written a business plan, I was about 25 steps ahead of him.
Fantastic!
The business plan, we sat on the bench down on the high street and we counted the footfall, and we said, well, there's actually quite a lot of footfall in the shop. The rent was really reasonable. Let's give it a try. We can say we've tried it. So that's how we started with the shop. So that was June 2020 when we took the shop, and we opened in August 2020 with face masks and sanitizer, and everybody's still a little bit nervous, but I'd signed up to be a French chic paint stockist.
Yes.
I'd been using that brand of paint myself and I just loved it. And I said to Grant, until I get the soft furnishings up and going, that will keep people coming in. It'd be like the backbone of the shop.
Wow,
and
fantastic.
That was 2.5 years ago, and I've barely sewn anything. So the curtain shop idea was completely morphed into something else, which I suppose is business, isn't it? It's being nimble and revisiting your business plans, and if one thing doesn't work, thinking, well, actually maybe we ought to look at something else. And my husband's qualities and his attributes, he's a great detail man, and he literally data mines the till. There's a whole realm of statistics there. So what sells, how many transactions we might have had in a day, when this last sold, that's been sat on the shelf for ages,
Fantastic.
Oh gosh, that went in, we had a product that sold out in 8 hours the minute they went on the shelf. Right, we probably need to get more of those. So
and the fact you can now tap into that level of data, the tools that exist, for a shop owner and really for any product owner is just amazing, because then you're not going on a personal hunch of, we think this will do well, or you're not getting caught up on the subjective opinions of, well, we like this product, so everyone else will like it. And I remember when I obviously first came into the shop, which was last year about September, October time, and we were just getting going with really good conversations, and it was Grant that I came in here and had a chat to initially and talked him through the cards and showed him everything. And I remember him telling me all of the behind the scenes systems and processes that you guys had, and I know when I, as I said, first popped in, we were also looking for any feedback on the cards from a retailer, a shop like yourself, so we would also know, well, would this sell in this type of shop, and what do we need to think about? And that was an invaluable chat we had, and obviously it was so exciting that this is how we officially met, that you were one of our first stockists at Christmas. So that's obviously how we met. What do you love about being in the retail world? You've been, as you said, 2.5 years now. What have you been loving so far?
It's got to be meeting people. I know that we're moving towards online shopping experiences, if you like, but there's nothing like actually going into a store and seeing the products. I'm a consumer myself. I love fabric, I love textiles, so I would far rather actually go and spend an afternoon in a textile shop selecting than I would to go online and think, I wonder what that's going to be like. I wonder how going to feel, what's the weight of the fabric, that kind of thing. So I think a lot of people are like that. Plus, it's just nice to be able to have a chat. I mean, yes, we've opened a shop and we hope that it's a little community shop and people don't have to buy. We wave at lots of people as they go back. That's just nice, isn't it? That little bit of human contact. But for us, the shop has given us some structure and some routine. We've got something to get up for. We've got an aim. We didn't know if this would last 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years.
And especially launching it in mid-pandemic. So to have that, the courage, for both of you, obviously, been watching the news, seeing what was happening to other businesses that may have been having to close. Obviously, we know through the pandemic, some businesses excel. So, to take a chance at such a daunting time is really quite amazing.
We were so lucky, really, that the paint product that we chose, we tapped into people being stuck at home, looking at the furniture and wanting to renovate, and I did that too. So we were very lucky, really, that we did tap into that. The company that we're with, the lady that owns and developed that company, her background is PR. She pushed it constantly on all of the social media channels and on things like YouTube and Pinterest and that kind of thing. There's a fan forum, 500,000 members.
Amazing.
In the fan forum, the stockists everywhere. There's lots of activity on social media.
Yeah.
So that did drive customers to our door as well.
And I guess from your experiences so far, what advice would you give to somebody who's either looking to open a shop?
I did my homework. I really did do my homework. I thought I had a good idea and I thought it would work, but like I said, we went and counted the footfall. I visited a couple of trade fairs and I did have some work experience in another local shop, and that taught me a lot about that was my first time selecting products that I thought people might like to buy, and it worked. I did drop some clangers. By and large it worked, and I realised that I wanted to be more techie, if you like. I wanted to till, not to have to write it down in a book. I wanted to be a bit more strategic about it. So we did our homework. I did have a business plan, which has changed about 25 times, that business plan, but I think that's what it's all about. And we've been going 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years in August.
Fantastic.
That we've been open, and we're not doing what we thought we would be doing, but we seem to be going in a direction where we've still got customers coming through our doors. We've been loyal to the paint brand. They've been loyal to us. We've been able to develop workshops and things. I've got a background in teaching nursing, lecturing at the universities. I've been able to use all of those skills, and it's just a really nice little community feel to get round this big table that we're sat at now with 5-6 ladies that don't know each other. They have a cuppa, they do a craft activity, mindful, it's gentle, mindful, it's nice.
That's brilliant. You mentioned trade shows, that you've been to trade shows, and it was actually yourself that introduced us to the Pandora's box that is trade shows. So I remember when we came in here in December, just before Christmas, and we were just catching up on how the cards had been doing. And I think you pretty much sold out prior to Christmas, which was so exciting. And then you opened, as I said, Pandora's box of the trade shows and such that happen in the retail world, which was a great, insight for us of how shop owners and buyers go about purchasing from trade shows. So we obviously went to Top Drawer in January, and you came down to London and we saw you, met your daughter in person. But for people who perhaps haven't experienced a trade show from a store owner's point of view, what is it that takes you to trade shows, and what are you looking at, and do you have a strategy when you go to a trade show yourself?
One of our core strategies for our shop is that we like to shop local. So when you came along and said, hi, I'm from Great Ayton and I've developed this product, I was like, that's fantastic. So we look for other local traders. So at a trade show, the first couple I went to, I picked up 1,000 leaflets. It felt like 1,000 leaflets. I hurt my shoulder looking them all around. I realised very quickly that the professionals take a small suitcase and just chuck things in.
I
But
was going to say, I saw people with cases at the trade shows.
After a couple though, and having then opened our doors and we were then trading, we refined what we wanted. So I go to trade shows and I generally make a beeline straight away for the new business tent.
Right.
Because I want to look at what's new and what's coming up. So one of the trade shows in Harrogate, we met a couple of girls, Plusy cards. They're in Beedale.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, we get fair trade glass from a company which actually an Australian company. The glass is made in India. So we want local, we want fair trade, we want ethically made. Yeah. We met a fabulous Nepalese lady at one of the trade shows, and she lives in London, and it's her village that makes all the felt.
Oh,
and
lovely.
Everything's going back. Isn't that fantastic?
Yes.
So that's what I'm looking for. The first couple, honestly, there must be, if you look in the back of a trade show brochure, there must be 30, 40 categories of different things, so toys and household goods. And I spent a lot of time wandering around looking at sweeping brushes and thinking, oh my goodness me, how on earth did I get here? where's the exit? It's a long way. So I've refined it now, and I do spend the time, and I look on, online at who the exhibitors are, and if there's something I want to see. But like I say, I always go to the new starters tent, the new businesses, to see what's happening.
Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing your journey so far and the backstory of the shop. Now, in addition to us having a chat and just hearing your story, I thought it would be fun for us to actually pull out a couple of conversation cards from the Really Good Conversation pack. So obviously you guys are stocking these at the moment here at Bramble LuLu. You've got the first editions, you've got the couples cards, and you've got the alphabet cards as well for the kids. So I am going to just pull out a couple from the first edition pack, the yellow pack, and ask you these questions if that's okay, Jill.
Yes, fire away.
Number one, what job have you enjoyed doing the most in your life?
Honestly, it's this one.
Oh, brilliant. And it took you till, if you don't mind me asking? 53. Fantastic. And I guess that's, for anyone listening, is nice to hear that you can still make changes, have different jobs, have different experiences, throughout your life.
Yeah, I mean, now they say, so my children are 29 and 32, but they're generally going to have a couple of careers in their life. 50-somethings, my husband and we now have second careers.
Yes.
I have to say, a lot of I loved being a nurse. I did love being a nurse until it got really stressy. Yeah. And then I didn't love being a nurse, but I loved my patients, I loved the contact and all of those communication skills. And I actually spend a lot of time here. Yes. Talking with people, and it's lovely sometimes just to say, hello, how are you? We don't do that enough, do we? No. So I'm still using lots of those skills, but for me, day to day, opening up the shop, hearing the ding of the bell, and people coming in and saying, oh, we love your shop, and you've got such lovely things.
And it's you've created just such a lovely atmosphere as well in the shop. It's got that calming vibe when you come in, and you can tell you've thought about the products in here, the displays in here, and I think people even passing by, it's an Aladdin's cave in a way, because people might think, oh well, yes, I know they sell the paints, but there's so many more things in here. And I think you, from what I've seen as well over the months that we've known you, is you're curating and taking in the seasonal elements and adapting and updating things throughout the year for the customer base as well.
I mean, above all, I'm a consumer. Yeah. I know what I like from a shop. I like little tinkly music. I like little different things to look at, Exactly. And it to be a nice experience.
That's a good one. I'm going to pick out another question. If money was no object, what one thing would you buy?
When I was a senior nurse, I had to do a management and leadership course, and I can't remember the man's name, Stephen. And his was it the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Yes. Something like that. It was a journey of personal development as well as kind of learning about managing and things like that. And it always stuck with me that he said start with the end in mind.
Oh,
so when I wrote my business plan, for me what would be the ultimate blue sky thing that I would really love, and I would really love a destination venue. I would really like to have a farm.
Wow.
And I would like to develop the buildings and have a lovely cafe, and I don't know, maybe some thing for children to do, like soft play or an outdoor play area. I'd like craft workshops.
Yeah.
I'd like other artisans to be able to have somewhere to work.
Lovely.
I would love something like that. So yes, if I was presented with a lot of money, you know, and if I could do that and involve my children if they wanted to, wouldn't that be amazing?
Wow, so that's business number, the third business.
But it would follow, you know, what we've done here. Really, it would just be Bramble and LuLu kind of powered up a bit.
Yes.
Wouldn't it, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and the third question that I'm gonna ask you is, what do you think has been the biggest technological development in your lifetime?
So when I went to school, I think mine was the first year that did O-level computing. We had to write code, and it was like a flicky green screen.
Gosh.
And my mum said, what are you doing that for?
That'll never take off.
There's no future in that. And my children, they haven't done it for a little while, but what was it like before the internet?
Yes.
Oh gosh, when we watched the television, what was it like before mobile phones? We actually had to ring the house phone, and speak to each other, make an arrangement, and just trust that was going to happen like in a week's time. So for me, it's got to be the internet and everything that goes with it. Yeah, some good, some bad. But was it Tim Berners-Lee that developed it and, you know, gave it to us kind of for the good of humanity? And there's so much good come from it.
It's crazy. I mean, I do remember myself as a child when we got the first computer in the house, and, you know, it was a fixed computer in one room, and there was the dial-up tone all the time and things, and if someone was on the internet, it would disrupt the phone line and stuff. So, you know, obviously they're the bits I even remember. So it's crazy to think of what now exists. We could obviously have an even more really good conversation just purely on the internet and all of the things that have come from that as well. That's so great. Thank you for sharing your journey to date. But I'll ask you as a final question, if you could ask any person, dead or alive, a question, who would it be and what would you ask them?
So, a bit like everybody else in lockdown, I got into ancestry. This was family folklore, and my sister kind of proved it, and then again I was able to look at it myself. My sister's a historian, so Captain James Cook is my 6 times great uncle.
Oh my goodness!
I would love to go back and ask him, what was it like? Was it like leaving Whitby and going to sea the first time? As we all know, I mean, we've grown up around here, he was born in Marton, which is 5 or 6 miles. His father came to Great Ayton as kind of the farm supervisor, what they've got a name, the steward or something of the local farm, before he went to Redcar to live with his daughter, who is so Captain James Cook's sister is my 6 times grandma.
Wow, oh my word, this is amazing.
Amazingly, and I grew up in Redcar, and the house that's the bathroom shop on Redcar High Street is where my family lived.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? So yeah, I'd love to meet Captain James Cook and just have 5 minutes with him.
Yeah.
What was it like? What was it like? Did I get my wanderlust from you?
That is amazing. And I would love to, obviously we've spent a bit of time living in Australia, and obviously everyone that we meet in Australia, I'm like, oh, James Cook is from our area, and there's a statue of him in the village in Great Ayton. And yeah, gosh, when you know, yes, again, positives and negatives of the histories and such, but fascinating to understand that. So that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Gill.
You're very welcome. Okay, Amy, good luck with your fledgling business and everything you do. I'm so impressed with everything that you're doing. You're so full of energy. I'm like, wow.
Oh.
So yeah, this is great. I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you. Well, we couldn't have done it. As I said earlier, you were one of the first people to support us on this journey. And, you know, as I said to my husband, Alex, you know, we need to get feedback from retailers if we're launching this product. And obviously it's been a passion project for us. Again, your support and Grant's support along the journey, we've learned so much. There's a lot to learn out there in the retail space and creating a product. Tell again our listeners, and I'll include links in the show notes as well, but where can people find Bramble and LuLu? How can they connect with you?
57 to 59 High Street, which I believe we've got 2 shops knocked into one now. 57 to 59 High Street, Great Ayton. We've also got a website, brambleandlulu.co.uk, and we're on social media, Instagram and Facebook.
Brilliant. Well, thank you again for your time, and I'm sure we will chat again at some point along the journey of this podcast. It is new and it's all a learning curve. So yeah, thank you again, Jill.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Be sure to check out the show notes for more information on today's guests, and if really good conversations are your thing, hit subscribe and join us next time for more business journeys, insights and banter.